done. Just done. Hey guys, it's Daniel here, back with another video where I watch anime in Japanese with Japanese subtitles and try to see how much I can understand. This week's episode is going to be Season 2, Episode 8 of Mushoku Tensei, titled絶望の婚約者, which means Despair of the Engaged. I went over this in the last video, but the title of the chapter in the book and the title of this episode are actually a bit different. The title of the chapter in the book is called Zeppeki no konyakusha. And the weird thing is, I looked up the word zeppeki and it means like cliff or precipice, and it doesn't seem to be used in a figurative manner, like engage on the precipice or like, you know, fiance on the precipice, but it doesn't really seem to be that way, and I don't think anything is going to be on the precipice in this upcoming episode, so it doesn't really make much sense. To be honest, I actually think that the author made a typo, and they're just correcting it for the title of this episode. Considering the events that are coming up, it's much more likely to be絶望の婚約者or Despair of the Engaged. So I thought last week's episode was going to be a complete cringe fest because, you know, Rudy kidnaps and confines two young women. But in the end, it actually turned out to be kind of fun, and there were some heartwarming moments as well. Obviously, we have Sylphie and Rudy getting ever so much closer, although I completely forgot that there's a few things that have to take place before, you know, that takes place. Now, even though this episode has to do with, you know, the despair of the engaged, the main event is going to be Badi Gadi coming. I listened to a little bit just to check what happens, and it is going to be time for Badi Gadi to make his appearance. And as I mentioned, I think 2 videos ago, I'm going to be on the lookout for Nina Farion. She's going to have blue hair, I believe. For some reason, when I listened to the audiobooks in the first place, I thought she had blonde hair, but, you know, I Googled it, made sure so I could see properly. She does have blue hair. There's going to be a swordsman with blue hair, hopefully, in the background at this, and they're going to go over why she was there later, kind of the same thing as how Sylphie and Ariel and Luke were at the execution of Saros earlier on, and at the time I wasn't a book reader, so I had no idea who they were. This time I'm going to catch that Easter egg, and if it doesn't come up, I'm going to be very mad. Now, if it looks like I'm tired and you can see the rings under my eyes, it's because I am. I actually just uploaded the last video on the last episode, but I am ready to go and ready to watch this next one, so let's do it. Oh, Cliff. Oh, Cliff. Dude, why is he still doing that? Oh my goodness. The boobies though, jeez. Oh, by the way, when I was editing the last video, I noticed that they have new subtitles for Netflix. And you can see my cursor. This is bugging me so much. Sorry. Go. According to the books, Kurosena has bigger tits than Linnea. Just throwing it out there. That's a massive walkway. I wonder who that is. There's no way he can only see her silhouette, right? That would be kind of dumb. You can't see her, though. Oh, yeah, this part. Cliff can't fight because he doesn't have incantationless magic. They're like, oh shit. That is not how it went in the books. It did not go that smoothly in the books, for sure. I guess it doesn't really need to be as complicated as it was in the books, because it doesn't really go anywhere anyway. Yeah. I wonder. Maybe it has to do with Eris? Yeah, this is the whole thing in the books as well. But they're making it making this short is fine with me. I heard you know her. She makes funny noises at night. Yeah. The one and only. Yeah, because it's true. How old is Cliff here? I forgot. They're both adults in this world, because 15 is the adult age.
きな人がいるから、その人の気持ちはわかるよ。
Why does she talk about him to him all the time? Like, stop. Like, there's no reason to talk like that.
見てるだけで告白できないって辛いことだと思うんだ。
あら、ルーデウス。珍しいですわね。あなたから来るなんて。そちらの方は
Yeah, in the books, basically they explain that Elena Lees always talks to Rudy, but not the other way around. Rudy doesn't really give a shit about her. At least at this part in the story.
エリナ・リーゼさん、こちらはクリフ・グリモルさん。特別生で一つ上の先輩です。
ご紹介に預かりました。クリフです。
Rudy.
ちょっと、
何ですか？
いくら欲しいんですの？
まさか先輩を売りに来たと思ったのか？最低だな。
金はいりません。
嘘おっしゃい。
He's like, that dude, someone as young as Cliff has got to be fucking expensive.
しやすそうな子を連れてくるなんて恥を知りなさい。
恥知らずはどっちだよ。
騙すも何も僕は紹介してくれと言われただけです。
本当ですの？
なんだったらロッシー師匠に誓ってもいいです。
She's like, I would pay so much for that kid.
一人とお付き合いすることはできませんのよ。
Not necessarily true.
仕方ありません。綺麗に振っちゃってください。
いいんですの？ルーデウスの顔に泥を塗るんじゃなくて？
問題ありません。
I mean, he is Doronuma,
なる
so
べく真実を
whatever.
話してあげてください。
分かってますわよ。
See, this is why all the anime only watchers that I was watching react were like always talking shit about Lise, and in this incident she is very respectable. So that's why I always like Lise.
クリフには悪いが、これが一番いい結末だろう。
He's so short.
おはようございます。
Lol. This is not what we talked about.
おはよう。
私たち付き合うことになりましたの。
話違くない？
あんな男らしい
Cliff's game was too strong.
さすがの私でもキュンと来てしまいましたのよ。
Game too
それはおめ
strong.
でとうございます。
クリフ。
エリナ・ディーゼ。
So apparently from now on they're always just gonna be like messing around like that.
俺は何も
I
言わ
wonder
ない。
how they're gonna show that in the anime. Maybe just making it all the time or something.
俺も早く病を治して誰かとイチャイチャしたいものだ。
What is this? Huh. That's cool. They never even had like descriptions of this in the books, so that's kind of cool.
お盛んですね。
なんでも秋になる
Oh,
と
yep. Here we go.
勝った方が家族のボスとなるらしい。従属なりのプロポーズのようなもので。
It's like mating season for the beast.
求婚という名の決闘の申し込みが後を絶えない。
I do the same. Just like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna be in my dorm. See you guys in a month or however long this
手
takes.
紙にはあとは頼むと書いてあった。一体何を頼むというのだ？
I think Fitz explains it, right? Oh god, the mating.
泥沼のルーデウス殿とお見受けする。我と尋常なる婚儀の決闘を。
Oh, Nina! Nina! There's Nina!
それはあれですか？
Nina Farion.
この時期流行りの求婚の決闘ってやつ。
We found her. We found Nina.
さよう。
すいません、僕こう見えても割とノーマルなんで。
貴様に拒否権はない。
あと頼むって。
Nina's like, what is going on right now? Anyway, sorry. Might be tiny spoilers. Sorry. Later. We'll see you
じ
later.
ゃあ決着ということで。
Oh, they're really actually pointing her out. Okay, okay. I thought she was just gonna be in like the background,
ルーデウス
but they're actually like pointing her out.
外が
Okay.
すごいことになってるけど何をしたんだい？
むさ苦しい男だらけの決闘大
If I remember correctly, I think Fitz gives him advice before it starts, and then when this starts again, there's this conversation afterward.
マジっすか？可愛い子でした？
Lol.
ルーデウス君はそうなんだね。
Yep, he's in Notos after all.
あれ、フィッツ先輩？
I love how even though he's not even like his mind isn't even part of Notos, he acts like a Notos. Oh, it's Badi Gadi. Here we go.
我が輩に挑むとは魔 当大学というのは気骨のある者が集まっておるようだな。我が名は魔王バディガディ。貴様に決闘を申し込む。
わけがわからない。
Wow, what a crowd.
まだかね。
すみません、自分の杖を取ってきてもらっているもので。
人族はせっかちだと思ったので。
So Fitz is using magic items, or Madogu, I forgot, to run there and back. And he's like, I wonder if they point it out. They probably will, I think. If I had to bet, I think they'd point it out. I think they're gonna point out the fact that Fitz got there really fast, like she's running really fast, or he's running really fast, according to Rudy.
僕は小物ですよ。他人より少しばかり魔力が多いようですが。
Yeah, the most the most mana in like history, tied with lip loss.
ラプラスよりすごい。彼女がそんなことを言ったのは貴様が初めてである。つまり貴様は世界でもトップクラスの魔力総量を誇る、というわけであるな。
Yep.
そうなんですか?
Yeah, at this point he thinks that he's always been like, well, I probably have more than most people, but maybe it's 5 times, 10 times. And he's like realizing at this point, it's like, I have like thousands of times more than other people. They're like, what the hell? Oh, they're not gonna show it. They're not gonna show her running ridiculously fast because she has magic item boots on.
すみません、こんなことをお願いしてしまって。
一発だけだ。一発だけ。貴様の奥義を我が輩に向かって放て。
I'm looking forward to this.
それで我が輩に傷がつけば貴様の勝ち。
See, this is why I thought the Ogi meant like secret move. Because they usually use it this way.
わかりました。ではそれで行きましょう。
He just like charges the crap out of it. It's like Marvel vs. Capcom, Iron Man, garbage right here. Ooh, or like Samus in Super Smash Brothers. It's like ooh. Spirit Bomb. So this is an intermediate technique? Okay, I'm just gonna watch. I'm not gonna say anything. I wanna watch it first. I'll explain later. Done. Just done. I killed him? What? What the hell? So yeah, it's an intermediate technique, but the amount of power he puts into it, it's like a king level or even higher. In the books, it takes like 30 minutes for that to happen, but sure. Yeah, no. That wasn't part of the agreement. They're always spending time together. I mean, they really don't spend that much time together. They don't spend all their time together, as it seems like in the anime. Like, she's always busy with Ariel's stuff. They really only spend time, like, a few times a week. If I remember correctly. Might be wrong, but, like, it's not like all the time like it shows in the anime. Yeah, also, Nano is, like, super cold. Dude, the boobs, seriously. Yeah, why? Why, though? Why would you need to? You know it's not gonna fix itself. Is he gonna be wearing the school uniform? School uniform, I wanna see it. I wanna see Badi Gadi in school uniform. Yes! Yes!
嘘だろ。
Yeah, the episode went by quickly too. Shiroi coming. Here we go. Silent 7-star. Here we go. Okay, so another fun, lighthearted episode. I guess that's pretty much the norm for the school arc, right? I completely forgot how much stuff happens at Nanoa. So yeah, basically two things happen this time. Rudy sets up Elinalise with Cliff, and then the Badi Gadi incident, so that kind of makes some sense. Checking the chapters in book 9, Zeppeki no Konyakusha Zenpen and Zeppeki no Konyakusha Kohen is 30 minutes and 50 minutes respectively. That said, the book is about 10 hours long, so that's not even a fourth of it. They definitely skipped/shortened a lot of stuff. Most of it was uninteresting, like how the bullies kind of dealt with Cliff. There was a big like conversation and everything, like who cares really. There's another part where Rudy sees Badi Gadi and then he goes back inside and he talks to Elinalise, and Elinalise is like, what, Badi Gadi's already here, he shouldn't be here for another 2 years. And well, Badi Gadi, you know, he's lived thousands of years, so he doesn't really have any sense of time anymore. He came early for some reason. I forget the reason why, but he came early from somewhere else. I forgot. There was the part I mentioned earlier where Sylphie has a bunch of magic items on, which allows her to go super fast and get his staff and come back. But yeah, there's a lot of little things that they just kind of skipped over, which is, it's perfectly fine with me. The story is getting told, and all those little things, honestly, it can get cumbersome anyway, so I'm fine with that. The next episode is called Shiroi Kamen. There's nothing to explain, it just means white mask. And we're going to be seeing Nanohoshi Shizuka, Silent 7-star. Just in case there's people who watch the corresponding episode and then watch this and don't really go into the next one, which I do sometimes. Sometimes I'll watch an episode of the anime and watch the reactor and then go watch the next episode of the anime, like kind of in order like that. I'm not going to give away the reason why she's called Silent 7-star. I will in the intro to next episode, because I assume that you'll watch the episode before you watch this. So yeah, that's about it as far as my impressions on the episode. Another good one, another one that felt like 10 minutes even though it was 20. Two important things happened and it finished, and you know, like I said before, they kind of cut or shorten a lot of things, but in my opinion, probably the best choice, because otherwise it's going to go really long. The two chapters they cover in this episode only span an hour and 20 minutes of a 10-hour audiobook, so they probably made the right choice. It was really fun, really lighthearted episode, which seems to be the case for the Ranoa University arc, and I don't know, I'm really liking the episodes, really having a lot of fun with this. I know it gets serious in, I want to say 4 or 5 episodes, so let's enjoy it while it lasts. The last couple of videos I've gone over aspects of Japanese that can sometimes make it awkward when translating to English, and if you're interested in that and wondering why sometimes the translations can be so awkward, I would recommend watching my last 2 videos. It's on episode 7 and episode 6, and there's time codes in the description. Today I'm just going to keep it short though and go over a couple of words. So if you ever see Mana Cataclysm or Mana Catastrophe in the subtitles, in Japanese that's Maryoku Saigai. Maryoku you'll remember from 2 videos ago, it just means magic, and Saigai means disaster or catastrophe. The other word/phrase that's been assigned to it is Hito Ryo no Tenii Jiken, which means the teleportation incident of the Fitoa region. In this case, Ryo means region or territory, Tenii just means moving, or in some cases metastasis. If you watch Conan, you'll hear Jiken a lot because they'll talk about the case of the so on and so forth. Really quick word on the pronunciation of Tenii Jiken. If you write it in English, you might think that like T-E-N-I would be read as like Tenii, but it's actually Ten-I. There's 3 characters in there, which is Ten-I, rather than Tenii, which would be 2, Ten-I. And the reason is this letter here. When it's transliterated into English, it's shown as N, but this N is completely different from the other times you see N in Japanese. Usually N is just followed by a vowel like every other Japanese letter, like nani no. This N is just a complete stop, and depending on what follows after it, the actual sound can change. Like for example, if you're just saying like enzai, then it's just an N, right? Enzai. Enzai meaning false accusation. Rudy uses the word enzai a lot when he's talking about his time in Doldia. However, if you follow it with a P or a B, like senpai or ganbatte, you'll see that I close my mouth because that's the most natural way to say it, which is as an M. Senpai, ganbatte. And then you have a situation like this where it's followed by a vowel, and in this case you just kind of have to stop what you're doing and just do nothing. I don't even touch my tongue to the top of my gums, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right because when I hear native Japanese people speak, they do the same thing. You basically do a hard stop on the and then you just continue with the next syllable with a vowel, like ten-i, 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 ten-i jiken, ten-i jiken. Tenii jiken. This is a little bit of a pet peeve for me because when I've watched reactors react to, for instance, Demon Slayer, where the reactor is called Zenitsu Zenitsu, and it really bugs me. Zenitsu, not Zenitsu. Any other famous one is the Zenin clan in Jujutsu Kaisen, where people call it zenin rather than zein. Okay, let's quickly go over the words that I had to look up because I don't want to bore you. This one and this one, I was about 90% sure what it meant because of this word and this kanji. I'd never heard of this word before, but it was pretty obvious from both the situation and the fact that this word means life. This was also pretty obvious. This was really frustrating because this phrase here, ato tatanai, this appears in the dictionary and this doesn't. And I had to Google it, but there wasn't anything that said, don't you mean this? It's just that every single result that came out was this rather than this. And as you can see, there's only one letter difference. And basically this word, tatanai, is very similar to this word, taenai. And this word actually makes sense. And in fact, I was listening to the audiobooks trying to reconfirm some stuff, and the author uses this word, taenai, in a few other places as well. Lastly, we have kame o ijimeru, and I tried to look it up in the dictionary in case it meant some sort of weird metaphor. A lot of times when you're studying Japanese and you see a weird phrase like this, it's a good idea to look up the entire phrase just in case it means something very specific. In this case, nothing came out. The only thing that came out in Google was this story of Urashima Taro. And he's on the beach and he tells these kids to stop picking on a turtle, and the turtle ends up being a dragon princess. It turns out that her father is the dragon god, and she takes him back to her father's palace where he spends a few days. But when he goes back, it's been several hundred years, and then he opens this box, and then he ages all of a sudden, and yeah, typical Japanese story. Alright, that's gonna do it for me today. Actually, let me know if you think the Japanese lessons are interesting or boring. I think today's might have been a little bit lengthy, but obviously that's up to you, so just let me know in the comments of what you think. As always, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, all that kind of good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.